Hi guys, I'm back for a new financial year. Happy new financial year to all the bean counters out there. It's an exciting time for us. And I'm just going to run through over the next few weeks, broken up with some other things, some of the rules of business that I've seen work over the past 25 odd years in business, working with clients that are also in business. These are what I call TC's rules of business. These are mine. No doubt they're hybrids of other people's, what they see and whatever else, but here we go. TC's first rule of business is cash is king. Cash is king, guys, not the folding stuff, your cash flow. If you are able to manage your cash flow, you can do anything. If you are not able to manage your cash flow, even good businesses are going to strike trouble. You need to manage your cash flow to cover your working capital requirements over a period of time. And if you're not able to do that, it does not matter how good your business is. You are going to strike trouble. The key really is to focus on a few particular items that are going to help you manage the cash flow of your business. The first one is that you must raise invoices. This is the most simple thing ever. But all too often I've seen businesses where it's an admin task that perhaps someone's doing after a day at work, after they've been on the tools all day or after they've been at another job for the day. And these are the sorts of things that a lot of people just put off. It's, as I've said to people many, many times, if you do not raise an invoice, you have no chance of being paid. So get your invoices done, get them out. Following on from that, another key thing is debtors collections. And guys, I know that debtors collections is not one of the most fun things that you will do in your business day. However, it is one of the very important things to do and to keep track of. It all comes down to communication, guys. This is nothing earth-shattering. It is communication. If you have customer or customers or clients who are behind on their payments, it's worth getting on the phone and really trying to understand where they're at. If they are having some cash flow, issues themselves, then perhaps request a payment plan. See if they'll start making, periodic payments to reduce that debt. If you are dealing with a client or customer that has had previous issues in terms of them repaying you for your service or products, then perhaps you need to consider, do you raise invoices more frequently? Do you look to get a deposit up front to sort of cover you off for your work in progress and your stock? So those are a couple of things there that you can do just to really manage that debtors collection process and try and tighten that up. It's all about tightening up those time periods. Another thing as well that is the same old thing here, it's stock and work in progress. Now, for product-based businesses, we have stock that sits on a shelf. We buy it, it sits on a shelf, then we sell it and we collect the money. For work in progress, this is really relating to service-based businesses where the employer will pay their staff to undertake tasks and do certain things. And until they raise the invoice and then get paid, until they raise the invoice at least, it is going to sit there as work in progress. It's something we've paid for, we have not yet been paid for, or we have not yet raised an invoice for. So really important to shorten that time frame up. In terms of your stock, what you might need to consider is, do I order less quantities and pay a higher unit price? But that might have significant savings on the flip side, really, rather than sitting on a shelf for months. You can be penny wise and pound foolish by ordering large amounts of stock. It can really cost you in the end. So, perhaps consider that. Smaller orders, higher unit prices. In terms of your work in progress, you just want to consider, how frequently you're billing. Do you want to look to arrange with your client or customer? Do you bill after a certain stage is completed or a certain project is completed? But certainly you want to move that figure from stock or work in progress to sales as quickly as possible. Another thing we need to bear in mind are your trade creditors. That's money going out to your suppliers. And we do need to manage these quite carefully and really consider, do we have an issue of our own looming ahead? The sooner we identify this, the sooner we jump on the phone to those suppliers and explain the situation, the better. It's really important, guys, not to hide away from these problems. Similar to what we would like on the other side as a business owner, we just want communication. We want to understand what's going on and why, and when we can do what. No one needs BS. We just need the facts. So it's really important, guys. If you can see in 3 months' time that you're going to have a bit of a problem, it might be worth trying to manage things. Do you get ahead? Do you ask for invoices earlier? Whatever it might be. If you've got a large supplier invoice that's there outstanding, then you need to get on the phone and say, listen, can I pay this off over 3 months or something like that? But don't wait for them to call you. If they're calling you, you already are on the back foot, and that's not an ideal situation. Another thing we need to do, guys, that's really important as well, is consider seasonality. Now, this might be you own an ice cream shop and in winter the sales drop off. Or it might simply be that this is Australia, and at Christmas time, things shut down, and they shut down for 3 or 4 weeks. In some industries, it's not till Australia Day that we really get back flying again. So now is the time, not in December, now is the time to sit down and say, I need to build a war chest. How much am I going to need to cover myself for my Christmas pay and all the holiday pay and leave, public holidays and whatever you might pay, leave loadings and things like that? And in addition to that, we need to consider the overhead expenses that are going to be paid over that period of time. Likely that there is going to be little to no invoicing from your end, and the debtors collections can also dry up as well. So build that war chest now. Do consider that seasonality. Again, it might be a general seasonality because of the country you're in. It might be, based on your industry or anything like that. Just consider it and build that war chest. Work out how much you need and start putting it away. I guess at the end of the day, really this cash flow management comes down to just generally watching your spending. Don't spend it if you don't have to. Periodically monitor your overhead expenses. And now might be a good time too. It's July. We've had another financial year tick over. Why don't you sit down and have a bit of a look and go through and think, hang on, do I really need to be paying this? Consider to yourself if you are looking at upgrading vehicles or equipment and you're going to finance those. Should I do that now, or should I push that out another 6 or 12 months? Consider the implications of doing so before you just blaze away and come out with a shiny new Ranger out of the showroom. The car salespeople will tell you anything that everything's deductible and basically the government will give you the money back and whatever else. You need to sit down and do these things yourself and really consider, when you should be looking at these, paying out these expenses or when you should just be holding back because you know that there's a bit of a pinch point looming. Guys, I have seen it time and again with businesses that are running week to week, month to month in terms of their cash flow, and it is an exhausting way to run a business. I have seen it myself, and it's hard to watch. So what I would be saying to you guys is you've got to get on the front of that wave. Playing catch up can be a very bitter pill to swallow. Playing catch up can cost you or can take 6, 12, 18 months, sometimes 2 years to get over. We've got to get on the front foot, guys. We've got to really make sure that we don't let things get out of control. Manage your ATO debts. We have seen over time, we can go back and have a look, not just with my clientele, with, many, many, many good businesses over time have gone out backwards simply because they have not managed effectively their cash flow. They have not considered not just next week, but 3 or 6 months down the track. Guys, cash is king. Manage it carefully. Guard your war chest as if, it's the last dollars you have. I'm TC. That's my 2 cents.